Hey, what's up, everyone? What I'm going to be talking about right now, I'm recording as best I can with the antenna reception, my with my converter box. I'm recording this program about this woman who has described what she's going through, and she's on Dr. Phil. Maybe I'll post the recording sometime of this program on my channel as long as there's no copyright strikes. But Dr. Phil does not seem to believe what she's going through. And she seems to be legitimately pouring her heart out, sharing her experiences. When she said that she tried summoning these crafts, or thinking about them, for example, she said she could think about these crafts, these UFOs, or beings, and they'd be there. And the audience just looked like, what? What the heck? It's right there. It's on right now. But, see, the general public and experts, quote-unquote experts, people like Dr. Phil, they might be able to help in abusive situations or situations where, family issues or whatever. But when it comes to things like this, people like that still have not gotten a clue, if you know what I mean. I've gone outside and literally thought about these things, and there they are. Suddenly, these crafts, or these lights, or these beings, or these things. And not only is it just me, but I can have a witness. I've caught it on recording. I've caught them on recording. That time that I showed that video of that cigar-shaped craft, I thought about it, and I said, okay, I summoned something to appear for me so I can have proof. Boom, there it was. And then he said, so you're just going... She said, well, I've seen people on YouTube who go by that, and who share their experiences, and she said they shared it. And Dr. Phil was like, well, you don't know a hill of beans about it. He said, they could be some liar in their basement, living in their mom's basement. I mean, see, that's the thing. People come out of skepticism. They come from a point of view of skepticism, and they don't believe anything that goes out of the normal. She said she's seen these beings. I've seen beings. She said she's been harassed by strange things. I've been harassed by strange things. So you could lock me up and call me crazy. You're crazy. I mean, what she is going through, I've witnessed the crafts, the beings, the sounds, the orbs. And Dr. Phil looked like, well, we're not talking about that. Any type of person could claim they see anything or can summon anything, and they could just be lying. Have you seen the person? Then you don't know if it's true or not. There are people that literally do go through these things, and I don't think that people like these quote-unquote experts take it seriously enough when people share their accounts. This woman had strange gunk that appeared all over. She had to clean up every single day. She had scratches and spots and marks. She had been abducted. She'd been messed with all over all the time. And she's a TI. She's a targeted individual. Just like I'm a targeted individual by all of this. And they put it on TV and make a spectacle out of it and make it something unbelievable and laughable, and they never really get to the point of what these experiences are, or even take it seriously. They look at it as a mental condition, and that's not the way to do. When I was in middle school, the guidance counselor, which he was pathetic, and so was the one in high school. She was awful too. Pathetic. Not even worthy of that title. They would ask, why don't you, what friends do you have? Why don't you hang out with people? Why don't you go to people's houses? Get into some trouble. What kind of guidance counselor says that? They said most young people get into trouble. If I had gotten into trouble, then they would have been like, we need to do something about this. Why are you getting into trouble? I mean, it's danged if you do, danged if you don't in life, the way they do. But anyway, they always would tell me, like, why wasn't I hanging out with people, going to people's houses? Why wasn't I, they said, be a heck raiser. Young people do that. I was like, what? That's what the guidance counselor said. I mean, why? Why? They wanted me to be like everyone else and do all these things they do. What? Get into trouble? That's what they wanted me to do. And go to people's houses, spend the night, hang out, go to parties. They literally said that. I should go to parties and go to people's houses. I mean, I already missed so many days. I was sick all the time to the point where they just wanted me, what did they want me to be in more trouble? Crazy. And I wasn't like that. I was shy. I stayed to myself, but I was very. People realized they were shocked at how nice and kind I was, and I was always that way. I've opened up more now than I ever have in my entire life, being able to talk. So I hope things go in a different path or direction for me, and I hope things get better. And that woman, Debbie, on this show, saying that she believes she's been targeted by electronic harassers and sees these alien creatures, these beings. People deal with demonic forces. People deal with interdimensional beings and have these alien abduction cases all of the time. And he said, out of the billions of people in this world, Dr. Phil told her, you're saying you're the only one who's dealing with this. And she said, well, I'm not saying I'm the only one. She said, there are multiple stories. This is what really kind of got me. There are multiple stories from people online. He said, stories? He said, stories are bull, basically. Dr. Phil said, I could write a story online and make anything up. They don't take it seriously enough. They really don't. He said, a story is just that, a story. And she said, well, an experience, but he said it doesn't amount to a grain of rice or a hill of beans, basically, is the way he was taking it. I get some of her conditions, he could look into as some mental conditions or whatever and help her out, but don't take it all as just a lie. Don't take it all as a lie. Anyway, yeah. I'm going to watch the rest of the program and see what happens and what goes on. My mama told me about this being on. It was going to come on again tonight, re-air tonight, so I'm watching it right now. And I just don't think they take everything seriously enough. Yeah, there are cases where people either make up things or people imagine things or hallucinate. But when you've got multiple people that's seeing the same thing, like, my parents witness things around me, and others out there witness the same things that I do, people I've never met, it's not all crazy. And these so-called experts, they don't know how to take this particular field of this particular category of occurrence. They have not yet. It's something beyond their realm of study. And like when the woman came on there dealing with possession and dealing with all of that, Dr. Phil was trying to state, well, I'm not saying there's not negative entities around you. He was okay on that, but he said, but I'm saying that maybe it's all in your head and blah blah blah. But she was legitimately dealing with that. It even happened on the show. I've dealt with things that I don't even want to talk about with that. Things taking over me, causing problems with me. And it took over me, and I would just almost lose consciousness and almost fall over and black out, and I don't want to talk about that, but I've dealt with that. And a woman on Dr. Phil, she dealt with that, but he said maybe it was in her head. They said she's taken 50 types of medication, not this woman, but another woman, and it didn't work for her. None of them worked for her. So, I just see Dr. Phil's got some show on applepodcast.com/Dr. Phil where you've got to have Apple just to even watch it. But, things are crazy to where society doesn't believe anything or accept anything that's out of what they consider the normal. It's not right that they ignore anything that happens to everyone, so many accounts, and they don't look into it. But I've dealt with things where something tried to take over me, and thankfully that eased off and stopped. Hopefully that never happens again. I don't know if it was partially anxiety attacks or what, but I don't want to think about it. But I know that it's real. Things are real, and people don't get it. They don't understand it. And the so-called experts, many of them don't understand it either. But I just wanted to share that. I've dealt with a lot of those things, and this person here, just like that other person, dealt with strange situations, and it happened on stage. But he wanted to get her. She tried 50 different medications, and it didn't work. They didn't work. This woman here, I don't know what they're going to do with her. I'm going to watch it and find out. But I mean, what she dealt with, yes, there are situations that can be hallucinations. There are situations that can be exaggerated. There are situations that people do need medication and help. Another thing is, but her husband did witness these crafts and these beings as well, but he said that she's going overboard and becoming obsessed about it, so that's causing it to be worse. He said you can be interested in something but not be obsessed about it. But I believe her cases, and I believe that it can happen, and that there's more to things than what people comprehend and people think. And I don't like the way they go about things. Anyway, much love, peace. That's all I've got to say for now. I'm going to watch the rest of the program, and I'm recording it right now. So check it out. Check out I might post the actual entire episode. So, woman harassed by alien creatures and beings. She said that she's seen cat creatures and other types of beings. She's seen an 8-foot-tall cat creature with glowing eyes. I've seen beings that are unbelievable. Eyes glowing and glowing, a ghost-like figure. My daddy seen this tall ghost-like figure in the yard, and it was above all the way, so tall it was above the vehicle, and it just turned around and looked at him and walked off and vanished, just disappeared. And it had these huge glowing eyes. And I've seen beings. My daddy was driving his truck down the road, and he said this alien-looking being was hunched over, and then it looked up at him, and it locked eyes. When it locked eyes with him, he said he blacked out. He was driving down the road. He blacked out. He did not remember the entire stretch of that road after that being stared him in the eyes. That's the cat meowing at me. But anyway, he didn't remember any stretch of that road after that happened, and then he came back to. He said, don't ever look them in the eyes, whatever those things are. So, these things happen, and this woman right here, people need to look into her case, and she said others have experienced similar things online and shared it. But the experts don't, quote-unquote experts, don't take it seriously. So what do you think? Is her situation legitimate? Is her story, her experiences, are they... I mean, you can see the gunk that these beings seem to leave in her house. It's all over the place, so I'll find out. And peace and much love. Give me your thoughts. Bye.